Hello everyone, my name is Boyd and I'm back with some more Age Mythology. The Titan's action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is Magic. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Bubez and the map is Oasis. This is game number 4 of this best of 5 series. Magic is up 2-1 against Bubez. Hell yeah, that last game was really well played by Bubez, but this is a different game, a completely different map, and very, very, very different to be played here for both players. And we do see some fairly good hunt here for both players with the 3 giraffe nice and close. Magic does spot that one as well, so we'll see if he makes his way over there. He's not grabbed hunting dogs just yet. We'll see what he chooses to do. Another obelisk is coming up, which is... You never want to throw that second obelisk up, but I guess he wants to just stay on the chicken here and then get it back, and by the time he's ready to move over onto the giraffe, it's going to be totally fine. You do have to remember that if you don't eat these giraffe early enough, you will not be able to gather. You'll not be able to eat them later in the game as Isis, because like we said in the last game, Hippolyta comes and she does some serious work. We see the girdle of Hippolyta is being grabbed here for Magic. That's 5% extra chariot archer hit points, which is, I mean, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal, but also it's not that big of a deal. But it's kind of a big deal. I think it's a big deal. And unfortunately, Magic's missed his 2 zebra here, and potentially Bubez's lure may be able to grab them, and even worse than that, Magic may be losing his own giraffe if he doesn't go there fast enough. And now Magic moving over onto this location. He does have a half decent town center. It's actually only 4 berry bushes. I tell a lie, it's not good at all. I was going to say he's got a half decent town center. He grabs this one. He can sort of secure this gold mine a little bit because he blocks off this path, and then with a good wall here, he may be able to secure it, but it's kind of a big ask because the wall can still get picked off from this side of the map. So this may be a 1 town center kind of map here for Magic, which personally I love the 1 town center plays from Isis, because you know you get some pretty crazy timing pushes. Unfortunately, the villagers are incredibly inaccurate in this game. And the Catastrophe comes over and just gives the fairy a little love tap. I'm forwarding away and unfortunately killing this giraffe very far away from the granary. But he did have to do it because didn't have to do it there. He could have got more villagers to attack, but you want to kill off all of those animals nice and early because of the lure. The villager's now moving over onto these zebra. Oh, he needs to get out of the villager. That's it. Oh. So sad. Bubez, on the other hand, he is happily eating these right next to his granary. He's got some hyena over here. He's got a bunch of these herdables. He's actually got a lot of herdables as well. So I would not be surprised to just see something similar from last game from Bubez. Just immediate second town center and going from there. But Magic, on the other hand, this is where it gets interesting. What does he want to do? He's already getting wood. So this changes. This is kind of the giveaway that I don't think many people really know about. This is kind of the giveaway as to what your opponent is doing. If you see early wood income from an Egyptian player, it means they're not going for a fast town center. That's basically what it means. If you see wood income early for an Egyptian player, not Ra needs wood for Shadoof, but for anyone else, for Set or Isis, it means they're saying 1 town center. That's pretty much what it means. I could be wrong. Magic may prove me wrong, but one of the soldiers is coming up for Magic, so he's looking like he's going for what we like to call the chariot archer, scorpion man, siege tower, push. So you have to prepare for that if you'll be there. And he's going through Hermes very, very fast. Magic, on the other hand, going very, very slow. He realizes he's got quite a bit of time here, and Bubez has got actually really, really short on resources here. He's looking to grab this town center. This build order that he's done did not quite work out for him in terms of the fast second town center that it looks like he wants to go for. He could have moved on to berries or something like that and gone to gold mine. I don't know. I don't know. He's just going to be short. And he does have still got a villager on favor here. He's getting his early Hippolyta out. No problem. Going to try and send that down to this location. But Magic is going to be finished on this. Well, I thought he would have been much closer to finishing that hunt there, but it's not going to be happening. Does have a lot of herdables in his base as well, so he will be able to get to the heroic age, which is generally the big problem early for Isis. And the temple's coming up. It's going to be a very, very late classical age for Magic, which I'm questioning. This is going to be this is probably too late. You'd have to argue, and we did see that the units retreating off that food nice and early. This Magic is still spamming. It's going to be like a 6-minute 40 or 6-minute 50 advance time from Magic. What is this? Is this 2003? Bast coming through. But all that being said, so long as Magic gets to the heroic age before like 8 minutes, it's still fine. Or 8 minutes 30, it's kind of fine. It's still like you do what you can do, you know. Bubez grabbing his second town center before Magic is even advanced to the classical age. It's going to be really key for him. And we'll see what he can do from him. We've got some walls coming up. The Centaur going to be attacking some of these villages as Magic is having to retreat back onto his home food here. He does have 23 villages on food. He's got 3 villages on wood though. And how's the upgrades looking? He does have husbandry, no pickaxe. He still needs a little bit more gold income because he's a bit short. But with the heroes coming in, it's going to be a difficult one. But once the tower is upgraded, it should be enough, and Magic's going to be totally fine here. I think not too much damage could be done from these ones with a nice sentry tower placement, as the units are going to get sent away. And now the Sphinx can run off and do its own thing here. Magic's actually got the resources he needs to advance. He just needs to get an armory up basically instantly. We just see some villagers moving over there. Villagers going to move over onto the gold mine. I'd love to just see an early prosperity here, get the pickaxe out, and you'd be totally fine, but not going to happen. The Sphinx running around. We'll see where Bubez is going to decide to go with those units. He's got 3 town centers here. See, this is you see an advance time this late from Magic, and you go 3 town centers. 2 town centers seems fine because then you can get the units out to deal with the all-in. But 3 town centers is asking for it. And on a map like Oasis, where this wood line is completely blocking you off this gold mine, you're just going to get pushed in over here, and it's going to be absolutely brutal. Does Bubez know about the monuments of the soldiers as well? He doesn't see the monuments of the soldiers, but man, it's just going to be one brutal all in here. Thank you so much for the subscription, Zebchi. Welcome. Appreciate that one, my friends. Welcome. The Sphinx. Goodness, what to do, but they can't find anything. Are you retreating? Wall's going up over here as well for Bubez, who's going to try and slow down Magic, but I mean, he just doesn't have any units out, and it's just booming against the 1 town center. We'll see what happens here. It's going to be like close to being an 8:30. It's still a little bit late for Magic, but the priest coming out, and he's got 40 favor in the bank. So that's enough to get a Migdol and an instant Scorpion Man. He's going to be completely fine to move forward and put a Migdol on this gold mine as well. And let's see. Instant Ancestors Eclipse here. Okay. I like it. That's going to slow down Bubez even more. And we see the Migdol going to be coming up. Unfortunately, the Sphinx is needing to find something to do. So you see the villagers retreating away from here. And this is basically just an attempt to make a minute of no resources being gathered. So you'd send the minions in to be sniping villagers underneath the town center fire. I like the picking off of the goat as well. That's pretty funny. And we see some Sphinx over here chasing stuff around. There's the Migdol Stronghold Siege Works coming up as well. So Magic can just push through this location here and then make his way over here as well as an option. And do we see more Scorpion Men coming out? Yes. More Scorpion Men coming out. They only cost 22 favor. You're going to get out quite a few of them. And Classical Age heroes just don't cut it at all. And we can see that Bubez right now is going to be really struggling for food, really struggling to produce units. And he's still producing villagers from everywhere and it's looking like he's got no stables out. Oh, he's got two military buildings out right now, and Magic is going to be sitting at 69 population to 57 population. The villager over here going to be trying to finish off this wall, but will not be able to do it. And because this wall was started, Magic can pick off this entire wall if he wants. Let's see if he knows the trick. No, he doesn't know the trick. You have to target this wooden wall segment to be able to do that, but let's not do that. The siege tower is going to come through anyways, and it's going to be a difficult situation. We see a stable coming up. All of these units are already out. The chariot archers deal with the heroes, and the scorpion man deals with any sort of hippocon army, and it's really hard for Poseidon to deal with this push. But with villagers, it's you're going to get them sniped and stuff like that. It's going to be all about whether or not Bubez can slow down the siege tower push. And I think Magic's gone a little bit too hard onto the chariot archers. He needs some more siege towers out. So I'd love to see him cancel those, which he has done, and maybe move forward with a Migdol right here. Just chuck it down right in the face of this town center here. But he's looking like he may go for the town center himself, but he doesn't have the food to do so. He's very far off that as well. He's only got 7 villages on farms. Doesn't have plow either. Just sitting idle for the time being. The chariot archers moving forward, and we do see a ceasefire from Bubez. He's going to have to basically cut villages here, I think, would be the option. The best option, cut villages, spam units as best as he can in order to catch up on the military. But, I mean, if he could have just gotten Heroic Age, which is probably what he wanted to do, he could cast Curse here and get out Atlanta in order to deal with those Scorpion men, but not going to be happening. There's the town center coming up for Magic. You can now probably eat these berries as well, which wouldn't be a bad decision. Having only 7 villagers on food is not quite enough to keep the village production. You see a bunch of farms getting thrown up here for all those villagers. Still no plow, well, there's the plow coming through, so that's fine. I'm surprised I didn't see this upgrade here, the adds of wet, which while while it's not the best, it's not like a hand axe. It does actually. I mean, I think it does help out quite a bit. I'm not sure. I have to look at the actual numbers, because some wood upgrades don't do too much. But I think it's good. I think it's a good upgrade. But we just see the siege towers now able to start pushing through here. Looking like the town center is targeting down the correct units, getting a little bit of damage done with it. And this will go down very, very fast as Bubez is just like, alright, fine. You have that position. I'm happily mining gold over here, so totally fine. Stable's now coming up for Bubez in the back. And he's just using these kind of as bait. You don't want to kill these as with these siege towers, because that's just giving Bubez more units. These are 100 wood, or not even 100 wood, what are they? 85 wood for 2 militia, which are basically like budget hoplites, right? They have like one hack damage less, and they don't have upgrades obviously for like line upgrades, but 85 wood for that. That means they can be very cheap, very, very cheap hoplites. But we are seeing Magic kind of falling for that one. Leaving the stable at 95 HP is probably the better idea, because then you can kill it if you want to kill it. But we'll see if Magic decides to just come forward and grab this town center for himself. It does kill off that anyways. There's the militia. They do get picked up very fast, because that's kind of what has to happen. But if you can keep them alive, that's key. You know, it's just kind of what Bubez is trying to do here. And he does have quite a few of these Hippocon out. Still pumping those units. It's a lot of wood income right now. And I'd love to have seen him just had more villagers on farms at this point, in order to try and get to the next stage. Got the villagers over here for Magic, grabbing this town center. And he is just in a pretty commanding position right now, with 4 Scorpion men against only 2 heroes, of which one is at 3/4 HP here. So the chariots are going to be targeting down the Holoter first, and then swapping over onto the Theseus. Nice Marco to keep her in the back, and then the chariots just need to move forward. And once the heroes get picked off, they just do so much damage, and you can't have this. can't have this. Micro, there we go. Targets down the Hippolyta, does one volley, pops him out, and then targets again. A nice micro from Bubez, but this is exactly what Magic wants. These Scorpion just doing so much damage here. There's 12 of them left, and the Hippolyta almost going down, has 7 HP left here, and we do see that the Hippolyta gets picked off, and then the Theseus as well. The Scorpion men are basically all alive to lose 1, but they just did so much damage here. Well, but that being said, Bubez is kind of doing okay, but he just can't pick off these Scorpion men, and there's still priests over here to heal them back up, and more Scorpion men coming in, following up with those Spearmen as well from Magic. And that's going to be huge as well. Not making more siege weapons is a little bit interesting, and potentially too many villagers on wood right now if he's not going to be building siege towers. But we'll see if he can hold on to this location, because I mean he's winning and Bubez is wanting to grab his town center back, but not sure if he actually is able to just yet. Still, like, these Scorpion men are so strong. Their special ability, just what's it do? They receive 3 true damage. Yeah. Wait, and the one that gets poisoned is 18 true damage over 10 seconds. So that's a thing. Quite a bit of damage. Quite a bit. But we just see the town center looking awfully close to going up. But I think the siege tower will get onto it fast enough. Even moving in with the Pharaoh as well as the villagers moving forward. You need to start throwing up towers here if he wants. I mean, he doesn't have the resources to do so, but he could. And the villagers also helping out with this push as well. That's pretty funny. And the Hippolyta gets sniped yet again. The town center gets denied by the siege tower. And the village is going to be picking off all those Supergon as well. As they're moving in. And happy with their little location here. They're happy with what they've got. Just throw up a tower and you're going to be happy. Does he have crenellations? Probably not got crenellations yet, but you throw up a tower, get crenellations, and it's just going to be a very difficult spot for Bubez to push back into. We can see the villagers moving out, trying to pick off a Scorpion man with 49% hack armor. 500 HP, it's going to be a difficult situation to be in. But Theseus is here, ready to help deal with this. Not only Theseus, also the Hippolyta, as the heroes just keep on coming back in, and Magic is not really able to make too much ground here, but like I said, he's got a lot of gold in the bank. There's the tower, that's what I was talking about. Get those towers coming out, and if he gets crenellations while this is going on, he probably can't, because it's a pretty difficult. You can just see villagers are going after it though. The villagers do a lot of extra bonus damage against towers. What is it? 150% extra damage against towers. So that's a thing. Would have liked to see the tower just get put up over here and push forward with it, but not happening just yet. The Pharaoh was picked off as well. Still wanting to put up the towers incredibly close to the town center here. And the Spearmen are dealing so much damage. We already put walls over here. We see Bubez making a move down to this location. We're kind of moving into that part of the game where Bubez can start spamming military buildings kind of all over the place. There's so much wood in the bank. I just don't think he needs that many villagers on wood. He doesn't actually have that many on wood anymore, only 7. But he could just spam out 16 military buildings along this bottom location here, and that would be hilarious. And at this point, he kind of wants to get out of Pass Burst, or maybe even Hoplite would be a half-decent idea, but once this watchtower is up, it's going to start becoming very difficult to hold on to this location, because there's so much damage when he gets crenellations. And Magic, while he can't afford it just yet, he will be able to get it out. Now Pharaoh's coming in as well to empower this watchtower, or at least maybe not. Maybe he's just going to be attacking, but it doesn't really matter. Doing so much damage there. Now we've got some storehouses over here, and Bubez in this moment does decide to tap out. GG! Well played. 144 population to 109 population, and Bubez just not able to make it happen here. I do think that the third town center was incredibly greedy, given that Bubez had scouted the wood being gathered here for Magic. And it does give away, and not only that, the very late Classical Age from Magic basically gives away that this is going to be a very fast heroic 1 town center push. And grabbing this town center means that it gives a really close location, for Magic to be sort of fighting at. And there's not a lot you can do to defend against this. Whereas if you were sitting 2 town centers here, it could have been full population when this attack hits. It could have even gone for like an 11-minute heroic age, 1/3 population like it did in the other game. If we check the post game out quickly, when was I checking out? When the sort of the attack came in, you could see he had 20 military units. Magic had to 3 military units of Bubez. The ceasefire comes down at 10:53, right? That's when he wanted to ceasefire. And just to be honest, Bubez could have just been heroic age, had Atlanta out. The Scorpion Men would have done nothing, and that would have been a good defense. Not necessarily would have been. Still have to play well to win, but a much better option than going for the kind of blind 3 town centers there. Anyways, well played by Magic. Gets to take this series 3-1. I'm constantly amazed by these old experts who come back and play very rusty and just destroy some of the competition so well. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed these games.